Hi Year 10, we're going to be looking at the changes in animals' weight today, and we want to make sure that we know what are the causes for weight change in animals. Now before we start, I'd just like to remind you that as part of our course and part of the exam, we only really focus on 6 animals: dog, cat, goat, bearded dragon, chicken and rabbit. And of those 6 animals, you won't be expected to know all of the diseases they could possibly have, but you will be expected to know common conditions of those 6 animals. So I just wanted to remind you of that, because when you think about weight changes today, I want you to keep those 6 animals in mind. So last lesson, we were looking at different types of checks that you can complete on an animal. There were 2 names for those types of checks. I'd like to pause the video now and see whether you can remember the names of those 2 types of checks that you do on animals. Okay, hopefully you remembered that you've got a quantitative check, which is where you record numbers and it gives an accurate measurement, and a qualitative check is more of a discussion or a written observation. It could be about the animal's behaviour or how an animal is acting, something along those lines. So let's see what we're going to look in terms of weight today. Now, an animal that's putting on weight is not necessarily always overweight. What I'd like you to do is I'd like to have a quick think about why else an animal would increase its weight. So another time when an animal might get larger or increase its mass. Okay, how about these images to help you think about what they might be? So we've got here a very pregnant cat here. You can tell it's pregnant rather than overweight because she's not got fat in this area here or in this area here. Then you've got these dogs here. This was 2 rescue dogs. You can see the ribs there. So based on our body condition scoring of last week, I'm pretty certain that you would automatically put that down as a 1. So we would want a dog to put on weight. That wouldn't be a negative thing. You would expect that to happen if you had an underweight animal. These animals could have worms, and if they had a worming tablet, you'd expect them to increase in weight. And again, here I've got a puppy, so very, very young puppy here, and that becomes eventually a full-grown dog. And obviously, if you've got a young animal, you would expect it to get heavier as it grows older. So when we're thinking about increase of weight, I want you to remember that increase of weight isn't always a bad thing. Now this dog here, that is an overweight dog, and that is a bad thing because it's putting on a lot of extra pressure on its joints, and we'll have a look at that over the coming week, next week, sorry, the negatives of weight gain. So the first task that I'd like you to do today is I'd like you to think about what are the things that cause weight change in an animal. So I've got a list on the side there: change in diet, lactating animal, internal parasites, the breed of the animal, neutering, cancerous tumours, pregnancy, stress, incorrect temperature, poor teeth or beak condition, change in exercise routines, or animals getting older. So I'd like you to think about which area they'd go in. So you can either take a copy of the PowerPoint slide, which I've put on to show my homework, and fill it in electronically, or you can do it by hand, whatever you prefer. Remember though to give yourself enough room in the middle if you are doing it by hand, because it makes it tricky to fit all the words in. So have a think, which of these things result in weight loss, which one results in weight gain, which one could be either, depending on the situation. Okay, we're going to go through the answers now, so make sure you've paused the video if you've not finished this task. So the first one we're going to look at is change in diet. Change in diet could result in either weight loss or weight gain. It depends on the energy content of the food being provided. Food that's high in fat is more likely to increase weight gain, whereas if you reduce the fat content of a diet that you're given, it will cause weight loss. A lactating animal in general will lose weight, and animals tend to store fats ready for when they give birth, so that when they're making the milk, they can use that energy store in case they can't find it in their diets. An internal parasite causes an animal to lose weight. That's because it's able to take the energy content away from the animal. Now, sometimes in puppies, it can result in bloating. That bloating will make it look like the animal has increased in weight, but it's unlikely that we will have got a lot heavier. So it's important to not be confused between bloating and increase in mass or weight. The breed of the animal does have an influence on weight gain. Some animals lose weight a lot easier than others, and some breeds gain weight a lot more. It's important when you're looking at your dog breeds to decide what type of dog you're getting and to be aware of which ones are more susceptible to weight gain. Neutering an animal can result in weight gain. So neutering is when you make sure that the animal is unable to breed anymore. It affects the animal's metabolism because of the hormones, and because of that it can result in weight gain. A cancerous tumour could be either. I've put it more on the weight gain side though, because it's, I should have put it more on the weight loss side, because a cancerous tumour could result in a mass increasing, so therefore you might get heavy, especially if you've got a very large benign tumour, or it might be in an area that might cause discomfort. So for example, if an animal had a cancerous tumour on its esophagus, which is sometimes called the gullet or the food pipe, if you're at a younger age would call it that, that would make it difficult to swallow, uncomfortable, and would result in the animal maybe taking less food because of that, and therefore reducing the amount of energy intake. Pregnancy then would result in weight gain. That's pretty obvious, I think. Stress in general results in weight loss, and that's because of a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol causes an animal to use the energy in their body a lot more, and therefore if they're using it more energy, then they're more likely to lose weight. Now, putting correct temperature in, because like at the start of the lesson I said we were looking at those 6 animals. If you've got a reptile such as a bearded dragon and you've got it in a very cold vivarium, that animal's not going to have enough energy to move to find its food, enough energy to break down its food, and therefore it's going to lose weight because it's not able to get the energy it needs from its food. So we've got poor beak or teeth condition. If an animal's teeth are sore, if it's got gum disease, or its teeth are overgrown like a rabbit, or its beak is overgrown as well, all those things can affect the animal's ability to eat its food. Change in exercise then. Change in exercise could be either. If you increase the amount of exercise your cat or your dog or your chicken does, then it's going to use more of the energy that it's intaking. So if you don't change the diet in response to change of exercise, it could result in weight loss. Or weight gain, if your animal starts being more lethargic and doesn't want to go out, doesn't want to exercise, then it's not burning as much energy, so therefore it's going to result in weight gain. And animals getting older, that could be either. So like I said on the previous slide, we were looking at puppies. Puppies we'd expect to gain weight. In general, when an animal gets to old age, they do tend to start to lose weight again. So again, that's why that one can go into both categories. So now that you know the causes of weight change, what I'd like you to do now is I'd like to look at this task, and you're going to complete one of these for your task for today. So we're going to look at the reasons why animals change in weight. So I've started off with me looking at illness. Now, illness is such a wide area. There's so many things that could come off from illness. So when you're doing your mind map later on, what I'd like you to do is think about what are the different illnesses and which ones might cause weight gain and which ones might cause weight loss, what are the reasons why. So we're going to look specifically at parasites here as an example so that you can use that to help get you on the right lines for completing the rest of this task. So parasites, we're talking about internal ones. So there's internal parasites which live inside the body, and external parasites that live outside the body, such as fleas. So the ones we're going to be looking at today are worms. Now, if an animal has a worm inside their body, the animal eats normally. but the nutrients that the animal would normally take in are taken in by the worm. Or sometimes worms can cause diarrhea. That also results in less nutrients being absorbed in the animal's small intestine. So the consequences of that are that the animals use their energy stores for respiration, because they're not able to get the energy from the food because something else has already taken that energy, and then that can result in muscle wastage and result in loss of fat as well. So you can see how here it's not just a mind map that just lists all the things that changes in weight. Of course, that's what we did on the last slide. What I want you to do today is to look really careful and think, well, what is the reason for that? So you might need to do some research on the internet to find out what sort of illnesses affect some of the animals that we look at in our courses. So you might type into Google, why do dogs gain weight? Or why do cats lose weight? Why is my rabbit underweight? So there's lots and lots of different things, and I'd really like to see a really wide mind map which shows off your skills and shows off your research here. And you can see how I've made sure that there's many different arrows coming up. So when you're doing it, I expect to see many different arrows, and again from here I'd expect to see plenty of arrows coming off to show that you understand the reasons for weight change, not just a list. So I'd expect to see little sentences coming off, and I don't expect just one word answers on here, guys. If you're not sure or you're struggling, please do message me on Show My Homework. I'm not going to know if you don't let me know how things are going. It's really important that you do that. Okay, hopefully that's okay for today. This is what I would like you to submit, a massive mind map which covers all the reasons why an animal might change in weight. I've given you the causes of weight change on the previous slide in your Venn diagram. If you want to, you might want to colour code your mind map afterwards with a highlighter, so the things that cause weight gain, the things that cause weight loss, that would just be an additional task on top of that. Take a picture of it, submit it on Show My Homework. Thanks very much.